Hey everybody, we are live in the Healing for Women Entrepreneurs group. Today in this lovely group with you lovely lot, we are going to talk about dealing with imposter syndrome and also how to gain soulmate clients. I am way more on time than I was yesterday, that is for sure. But Aubrey was having a meltdown right before we got on here. And so I put her in her room and told her that she could come out when she was going to cooperate. So there should be no one coming in and out of the room today. Hopefully we will be right on track so that we don't have to worry about anybody coming in or anything like that. Let me get this pulled up because I want to be sure that I can see who is on and if anybody asks any questions. So in case you are new to me, I am Angela. I am the founder of AsFreeAsYouSee. I am a breakthrough coach and healer of queens. I help women entrepreneurs heal from childhood trauma so that they can have thriving businesses. And that means more clients, more money, more freedom, and just more of life, living beyond trauma, right? That's essentially what that is. And I do the healing part of it. And I'm also now implementing the strategy of it, which I am super, super excited to do. So if you're on, let me know that you're on. Say hello. I am very excited to talk about today's topic, imposter syndrome, and then how to gain clients, of course. I'm excited to talk about imposter syndrome because I myself have dealt with it on a way crazy capacity. I actually dealt with it a little bit before I decided to shift and was kind of afraid to actually shift. So I'm going to I'm already on, but I'm going to share with you that personal experience, and I'm going to share with you what imposter syndrome looks like, what it feels like, and why it's actually happening so that you know how to, of course, fix it. And then we're going to get into talking about clients because I feel like this is important, but also you as my group explained to me that this is what you're struggling with. And so you need some ideas. And so I wanted to actually share that with you so that also I'm serving to your pain points and helping you out as much as I possibly can. Hello, Heather. How are you? I hope you're having a great day. Yesterday, if you missed yesterday's video, we talked about showing up comfortably and confidently online. And of course, we talked a little bit about marketing. So if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend that you go to that video. You don't need to watch them in order per se, but if you haven't seen that video, I highly recommend that you check out that video. I want to share with you that I did my first TikTok video today, and it was basically, I have no idea how to use the editing system. So I just stood here like this and just talked, and that's all I did. But I did it, and it's out there, and I'm going to move forward and hopefully really learn how to do it. Because I do believe that TikTok and Instagram with Reels is becoming a huge space to take advantage of, really. Doesn't mean that I'm trying to steer you away from Facebook or using Facebook groups or any of that to create clients or anything like that at all. At this point in time, I do not see Facebook disappearing, although I do feel like the dynamic of Facebook is changing, if that makes sense. So I feel like other people are going towards different platforms to be able to find information and a different energy, if you will. I don't know why that came up, but there it was. I've never even looked at TikTok, at least not yet. So I got on TikTok one time and then totally deleted my account and then got back on. I was going to try to start doing videos and stuff on it, but I actually uploaded it when I was in my relationship, and I just did not feel comfortable or safe, if you will, running around the house doing these crazy videos, either in front of him or knowing that, he would find them or something like that. Sounds so crazy, I know, but that's why I was afraid. And so I was going to do it at first because I assumed that he didn't have a TikTok. And then I saw his phone and then I was like, you have a TikTok? I was like, how old are you? Such an asshole thing to say. But I was just like, that's like that's like a young kid thing. And not that I'm so old or whatever, but anyway, we just got into the topic of TikTok. And so anyway, but I did my first TikTok video. I wanted to share because I am not really sure how I feel about it. So I just thought I'd share. But if you start to get really comfortable with your marketing and being in front of the camera, then you can go and do things like that because it absolutely will help you. And it helps you get comfortable in front of the camera because, you're learning how to edit, you're learning how to, do 15-second videos, 30-second videos, whatever it is. I don't know all the ins and outs. I'm just learning. So, but you can do something like that. But actually, let's talk about why you're really here. Let's talk about imposter syndrome and feeling like a fraud, okay? Imposter syndrome and feeling like a fraud are like the same thing, okay? You feel like a fraud or feel like you have imposter syndrome. And most of it comes from a lot of us do not have formal education to teach or heal or help people, right? We have very much been conditioned in our society that you have to have a formal education to be able to serve at any capacity. And if you don't have a formal education, then you are completely unqualified to help anybody, right? So what do you do, right? In a traditional setting, you take the entry level job, you gain experience, and you learn how to do all the things, right? Well, I don't know about you, but I have been in some positions, especially in the corporate world, where people without the education had the most experience, but were actually like running the show, right? They're just running the show. But the people that are on top, they just have the education, and then that's why they're there. They don't really know what's going on. They don't understand the ins and outs, and not that they don't really serve people, but their purpose is different, right? Their purpose is to make connections and build networking and do all of those things. But that's what they're good at, and that's how they can teach other people how to do that, right? The person that has the experience and has been working in the trenches for so long actually knows how to serve someone, actually knows how to make an impact, right? How to lead people, how to guide people. Yet we've been conditioned to believe that that person isn't worth anything because they don't have a higher education. Okay, so a lot of our imposter syndrome comes from conditioning. 100% comes from conditioning. And I don't think that that's very fair because I know a lot of people that have had experience that could really take the boss's position, and it would be better management. It would run better. It would function better. And so I feel like because we have taken on this conditioning, it's actually hurt us, especially as women, but it's hurt us as we've gone online and feeling like we can't serve people because we don't have a formal education, right? And so I 100% relate to that because for a long time, I used to be afraid to call myself a healer. I didn't think that that's really what I was. I thought that I was just a coach and I was certified in all these things. And then that's what I was going to call myself. And that was going to be the end of it. And so we do certain things because of the imposter syndrome and feeling like a fraud because of conditioning. But also it makes us play small. If we feel like a fraud, if we feel like someone is going to find us out, or what if they don't trust us, or what if I make a mistake, and we have all these thoughts and things running through our head, it hurts us. It hurts us 100%, and it stops us from showing up in big ways. And we don't want that. Okay. We don't want that because we already know that the person with the experiences and working in the trenches is really the person that you want to be connected with, is really the person that is going to serve you the best, which means you know what it's like to deal with whatever it is that you've dealt with and struggled through. You know what it's like to heal yourself and fix that and work through that, right? You do. Not someone that, knows how to read it out of a textbook or anything like that, right? If you've had some serious experiences and you've had to learn how to dig yourself out of hell, then you are the person that people want to connect with. You want to connect with because you have the experience. Now, just because you have the experience does not mean that I'm trying to steer you away from getting certifications and learning and having that education. Yes, absolutely do that. And honestly, it actually helped me build confidence to have my certifications. And it also helped me learn how I was going to coach and do all those things. So it really does help you. I'm not going to sit here and be like, it absolutely does not help you. No way. It does. It helps you in building confidence. It helps you in having some type of idea on how you're going to build a program or a system for your clients so that you can be better at serving them. And what happens is it just evolves over time, and you get better at it and you get better at it. And of course, your results are going to get better at it. Okay, so that's one nut about imposter syndrome. Let me know if this is resonating with you. Let me know if this is feeling good. I want to make sure that we understand. Not that you don't understand, but you get it. Okay, so part of our imposter syndrome comes from conditioning, believing that we have to have a formal education to be able to make a huge impact for people. And that's not necessarily true. It's not necessarily true at all. So be aware of that. Be aware that this conditioning is making you play small. Okay. It's making you play small. It's holding you back from claiming things like you're a healer. It's holding you back from being like, you know what? I know how to heal you from this. I absolutely know how to do this. This is what I did, X, Y, and Z. And these were my experiences. You could serve the whole world depending on what it is, really. So you want to be aware of that. Makes total sense. I've experienced that in past jobs for sure. Okay. And I have too, completely. I know that when I worked for my SVP, the huge thing was education. And she was like, well, you can't get anywhere if you don't have an education. And I have a bachelor's degree, but I was always like, but if I have experience, it shouldn't matter. It's almost the same. And so if I take that director position, or if I take this other position, then you guys should be willing to pay my education so that I have the formal education you believe that I need. So anyway, I totally feel that way a lot. Okay, cool. So we're on the right track. So be aware. You can serve people. You have the experience. You have the experiences. You know what it's like to be in the trenches, okay? To be in the trenches, to get dirty, to get bloody, to get sweaty. You absolutely know what that is like. Own your experiences. Own that you know how to struggle through that. Own that you have learned how to get out of that hole one step at a time. And this was your process, and this is what helped you. That's what this is all about. This is not about your formal education that you've never used, since you've decided to be an online entrepreneur like me. Okay. So be aware of those things, okay? Conditioning is huge. I want you to let go of the conditioning. You can tell yourself, and unlearning societal conditioning, I feel like has its ups and its downs. It's not going to be linear. But what I want you to do is, before you post, before you go to serve a client, I want you to just step into your power and tell yourself, I am the healer. I am in my power. I am empowered. I am confident. And I know that I'm against the affirmations and things like that, but I want you to feel good right before you go on. Stop believing that you have to have this formal education that you don't necessarily need. You are allowed to say, I let go of the societal conditionings that is holding me back from the life that I desire. I burn everything that's holding me back to the ground. I let go of this block. I'm no longer attached to it. You can do that right before you have a client, right before you post, so that you can just get into that flow of I am who I am without society telling me that I have to fit into this little box, right? Because the truth is that you've already stuck it to the man, right? You've already decided that you're not going to be part of the system, and that's why you're where you're at anyway, right? You've already broken the path. You've already jumped the bandwagon, right? So you may as well own it. The second reason why we might feel like a fraud or have imposter syndrome is because we're not aligned with the work that we're doing. And that might mean, and this might look like, not only do you have these feelings of, I'm not really sure if I can serve these people. I don't feel successful. So how am I supposed to help others feel successful? You feel afraid to put yourself out there and talk about certain things because you know that other people are successful about it and you feel like they're watching you, right? Those kinds of things. It's because you may not necessarily be aligned with the work that you're doing. And I know this for a fact because I've been there. When I first got my certifications, I had decided that I was going to help women heal trauma. And then I was really nervous about doing it, and I didn't know how to go about it. I didn't know how to navigate it, how to do any of those things. And I was also on Instagram hiding. And this was a few years ago. This is before Instagram was huge like this. And I was hiding on Instagram because it was comfortable and it was safe. And I didn't know how to navigate through it. And then I reached out to a business coach, and she had me navigate not with women with trauma, but with women who were stuck and struggling in the corporate world and wanted to be an entrepreneur. And that's not what I did not feel successful enough as an entrepreneur to help anybody shift into that at all. And so I really struggled with it. I struggled with it for a long time. I was afraid to put myself out there. I never knew what kind of content to write about. I never really knew how to speak to my audience. My audience was crickets, right? Because they could feel my energy that I wasn't sure about it, that I felt like a fraud, and that I hoped no one would show up to my lives and anything like that, right? Okay, they could feel me. People can feel you. And, I think I had 2 clients, maybe 3 clients that entire year and a half that I was dealing with that I was in that and wasn't aligned with my work. What happened? My Aubrey's dad called me a fraud and told me that I was lying to everybody and told me that I'm going to get found out. And just everything, right? It was to a T, like I had written it to myself. And of course it triggered me, and I cried for a week, and I didn't do anything in my business for a week because I cried and cried and cried and cried. And the truth is that I was triggered by it because obviously I was a resonant match. There was obviously some wounding there. And if you follow me, you've heard this story before. There was some wounding there that he had tapped into that I had to figure out. And what I figured out is that I wasn't aligned with the work that I was doing because I didn't feel like I was serving the right people, but also because I didn't feel like my business was a success. And so how was I supposed to help people become a success if I didn't know what that felt like, right? And then I started to serve women with trauma. And that's when I shifted and started to serve women with trauma, because I know what it's like to heal trauma. I know what it's like to dig out of the trenches and work in that and have that experience. I 100% know what that's like, right? So I decided to do that instead. And then when I shifted, I had three clients in like 1 month. And so I was like, oh my God, this is what I never felt like a fraud again.
Mom,
yes.
the pink one.
The pink one? Oh, okay, here you go. So I never felt like a fraud again. I never dealt with
the blue one.
Okay. I never felt like a fraud again. I never felt like I was afraid to put myself out there and do all of those things. So I 100% feel like it also has to do with alignment. Are you truly and absolutely aligned with what it is that you're trying to do? Now, I know that in some of our circumstances, you're also working on your current business as a building block. Just because the business is there as a building block does not mean that it's not aligned with you and your future endeavors and what it is that you're trying to do. You can absolutely reframe it and make it so that it is aligned for you, so that you can continue to make money that is supporting your business, supporting your future endeavors, supporting your future business, which is essentially what you want, right? You want to be able to feel comfortable so that you can put yourself out there for your future business and things like that. You can make it aligned, absolutely. I didn't know how to do that at the time, but also I was completely struggling, so it was pointless. It was pointless for me. But you can make what you're doing absolutely aligned as long as you understand the purpose and why you're doing that, okay? So the second reason why we feel like a fraud or deal with imposter syndrome has to do because we are completely out of alignment with our work. It is truly not what we want to do. It's truly not our passion. It's truly not our life's work. It's truly just there because we're doing it just like we would do for a traditional job, right? We're there, we clock in, we clock out, we get a paycheck, that's it. You do not want to treat your business that way, because in the long run, it's not going to be sustainable. In the long run, if you treat your business like that, it will not be sustainable. You will 100% burn out, and you don't want that. You don't want to burn out. Burnout doesn't feel good. Burnout puts you on your knees, and you don't want to do that.
The red ones.
No, where are your pens? Okay, you have pens too. So there's one of them. Okay, so let me know. Hey, excuse me. So that's the second reason, okay, that we could be potentially dealing with imposter syndrome and feeling like a fraud. The third one I have also dealt with. Okay, the third one I have also dealt with. I've dealt with all three of these. Surprise! Okay, so the third one is because you're not fully practicing what you're preaching. She can see herself on the laptop. She's waving to herself on the laptop. So it's because you're not embodying what it is that you're preaching. And this is what I mean. If you're getting online and telling people that, no, please don't write on me. No, thank you. If you're going to do that, you need to get down. Okay. You can write here if you want to, but you need to let mommy work. That was the deal. Thank you. This is what happens. Let's say that you get online and you do this live and you do these products and what a training series and all these things about self-care and journaling and meditating and taking care of yourself and how to heal trauma. But when you get off of the live, you're not practicing any of it in your life. I say practice because sometimes it's hard to fully embody these things, right? If you're not practicing these things in your life, I am your mommy forever. You're right.
Me
Nope. Please leave those on, okay?
I'm gonna make sure all the way.
Okay, make sure they're all the way in, okay? But mommy needs to work, please, okay? Are you gonna let mommy work now?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you get off the live, if you get off the call, if you get off these things and you're not practicing it in your real life, you are going to feel like a fraud. You are going to be afraid that you're going to be found out, that when you get home, you're not actually doing these things. And so people are going to find out. And so, how I dealt with it was so crazy. Aw, mommy forever. I know, isn't that the cutest? That's like a new thing. So what I will tell you, okay, and this is so crazy, but I don't want to say when I first started. I think when I was a couple of months in, when I started to like really grow my group, I started to deal with like seeing people as not really practicing what they're preaching all the time. And I would see it in my group and I would know because, you know, I feel people's energy, and I've got one of the biggest BS radars ever, right? But also when those things happen, it's because they're a reflection of us. And so that's actually how I was feeling about myself. And it was because I didn't feel like I was practicing what I was preaching. And it had to do with being in this unhealthy relationship that I was in, that I knew was toxic. I knew that was unhealthy, but I didn't know how to get out of it, if you will. And so I just kind of dug deep into my work and continued to heal and tried to make sure that, you know, I knew that I was working on trying to get out of it. But for a long time, I dealt with feeling like a fraud, or that I was going to be caught, because I was in this toxic relationship that was highly connected to trauma bonding and codependency and all of the things, right? And so I felt like a fraud. I felt like people were going to find out. And so I really stopped, and it became an argument in our relationship, actually, that I really stopped like posting pictures, talking about my relationship. And I'm not okay, go potty. I'm not really like that to begin with, but, and it just got worse and worse. And it was because I didn't want to get found out. I didn't want to be claimed a fraud while I was trying to help women heal from trauma. And here I was in this toxic AF relationship that would have been anybody's relationship that I was potentially helping them heal, so they wouldn't be in relationships like that. Okay. So I know what it's like to deal with this. When you practice what you preach, and I say practice, okay, it is not every day you're going to be in a place to embody every single thing that you preach and teach, okay? Everything is a practice. You practice it. As long as you get on here and you tell people, I practice this. This is what I practice. Because the truth is that nobody is perfect at embodying. Okay, good job. Nobody is perfect at doing that, right? Here, baby. Hey, get your panties on, please. Okay? Yes, that's right. The writing goes on your booty. There you go. Okay, good job. Heather says, that was an aha for me. I've wanted to start a health... Oh, shoot. Okay, hold on. I don't know what happened to my laptop. I don't know why this happens sometimes. It's the weirdest thing, okay? I don't like... It like disappears in the middle of the live, like I haven't been watching it or something. Okay, it says, that was an aha moment for me. I've wanted to start a health biz of some kind for so long, but never fully did the things I would talk about. Now my health has forced me to do the things. So I realize now that I am building my business now. Exactly. And sometimes, and I know that we hate to hear this, but sometimes these things are actually setting us up to live in our purpose, to, you know, really do what we're passionate about, to do our life's work. Because, you know, if we don't hit rock bottom, we never actually shift out of rock bottom, right? And I know that people hate to hear this, but rock bottom has a purpose. The struggling and the suffering, it has a purpose. And its purpose is so that you get with the program and wake the fuck up. I mean, that's really what it's about. And I know that that's really hard to hear. And I know that we don't want to hear it because it doesn't feel good, but it's just a reality of it. If I didn't hit rock bottom, I'm pretty sure I've hit it a dozen times at least. If I didn't hit it the last time, or even I've kind of felt like it was the last time before this, I wouldn't have shifted. You don't change. You just continue to do whatever it is that you're doing. And that doesn't feel good, but you also get a choice, right? You get a choice. You get to live in rock bottom, or you allow someone to save you every single time, or someone feels like they have to save you every single time, or you just kind of go about your merry way, or you totally shift and start to live your life at its fullest purpose. Okay, so three reasons why we deal with imposter syndrome or feeling like a fraud, okay? Societal conditioning over formal education, which is the biggest load of BS. I forgot the second one. Oh, alignment with your work. You want to make sure that you feel like you are totally aligned with your work and not like you're treating it like a job that you're just clocking in and out of, because eventually, number one, that creates imposter syndrome, but also it will prevent you from having a fully sustainable, successful business, right? Because we don't want the success for a short period of time. We want the success to be sustainable. And of course, the last one is not embodying what you preach or teach. And again, the embodiment is a practice, okay? The embodiment is 100% a practice. Yes, love. Can you go to what? Oh, you want to go to Layla's? Well, I don't know, baby. We'll have to see, okay? Let mommy finish working and then we can decide if we're going to go to Layla's. Can you do that, please?
Yeah!
Okay.
I want to wear my Queen Poppy!
You want to wear your Queen Poppy? Okay, yeah, you can wear your Queen Poppy if you want to.
I want to do my own makeup!
Baby, you already did your makeup. It's all over your face. Okay, can you please let mommy work now? I know that you're very excited, but please let mommy work, please, okay? Because I don't know if we can go to Layla's. You have to let mommy work, okay? Okay, let mommy work now. Okay, so let's talk about gaining clients, okay? And I felt like talking about imposter syndrome and gaining clients are actually perfect, because if you do feel like a fraud, if you do feel like you're going to get found out, you are not going to attract the right clients. You are not, in fact, you're going to repel people away from you if you feel that way, because people can feel your energy, okay? People can 100% feel your energy. And so we want to, make sure, baby, hey, you need to let me work. You are not letting me work. I know that it's really fun to see yourself there, but I need you to let me work, please, okay? So people know. So you want to make sure that you're not feeling like an imposter. You want to make sure that your energy is there. This is why I talk a lot about feeling safe. Okay. You're not listening. So this is why you want to make sure that you're feeling safe online. Would you like to go to your room? Okay, I need you to stop. Okay, mommy is almost done. And I need you to let me work. If you think we're going anywhere, you need to let me work. I totally forgot where I was at. Because this is why it's important to make sure that you feel safe showing up online, because people will know if you don't feel confident. And I don't want you to freak out, okay? There's a difference between practicing your confidence and practicing showing up and being there than it is to be like, I'm so scared of everything that is going on in my life, and I'm not just stepping outside of my comfort zone. I'm just doing it to do it. There's a huge energy shift in that, okay? So don't feel like people aren't going to, okay, get out from under there, please.
I just on there, and I just get out.
Yes, you did just get out. So people feel your energy. I don't want you to freak out, okay? I want you to practice showing up. I want you to practice doing those things, but just know that you're going to be nervous about it and you're going to put that kind of energy out there at first until you become really confident in it. And that's just the reality of it, okay? You are practicing. People will know that you're practicing and people will love it, okay? People love it when you're stepping outside of your comfort zone and they're like the first ones to watch you like glow up or whatever, right? But people will also know if you feel like a fraud. And this is why it's important for you to feel safe. Yes, you're going to have these thoughts and these feelings showing up when you're trying to get your first client, when you're working with your first client. Yes, of course you are. Of course you are. This is why we're talking about it. You are going to have those thoughts. What I want you to do, and this is going to be like anything else that I tell you, acknowledge it. Talk to it. Why do you feel like a fraud? Why do you feel like we're going to get found out? Why don't you point me? What aren't we embodying? What isn't in alignment? What societal conditioning are you trying to show me? And that's all you have to do, okay, is just acknowledge it and they'll get into it and you'll figure it out and then you can let it go and then you can show up in big ways, okay? And of course, I work with my clients with that stuff one-to-one because I feel like it has been one of the most beneficial things that I have learned to do. I used to be very much one of those people that would ignore all my thoughts and feelings that were running around in my head. And then they'd show up 20 minutes later and then they'd show up 10 minutes later and 10 minutes. And I was just like, I'm so tired of this. And then I learned how to heal my inner child. And so I used it for everything. Okay. So I use it for fear. I use it for small voices. I use it for imposter syndrome. I use it when things are like weird or funky. I'm just like, all right, talk to me. What do you've got? Because, I don't have time for this. We've got to move on. So I do it for everything now. So if you have not seen the course for your inner child healing, I highly recommend that you do that because you can literally use those fundamentals on anything that comes up. Anyway, let's talk about how to get clients, okay? Do you remember yesterday when I was talking about going into those targeted Facebook groups and becoming friends with people? Do you remember that? Or I didn't say become friends with people, but connect with people and answer questions and do those things, right? I hope we remember that. What you also want to do is I wish I could show you, but when you go to the group, at the top of the group, you're going to see little pictures and then you're going to see the ... What I want you to do is I want you to click on the ... and then you're going to scroll down. Okay. And you're going to scroll down and you're going to start to see things or see people, if you will, that you have in common with, right? You have in common with. You want to start to friend request those people that you have in common with, things that you have in common with. Okay. And you're going to become friends with them and then they're going to see your content. And when they start to engage in your content, you're going to strike up conversations with them. It could be about anything. It doesn't necessarily matter. But then once you realize that you can serve them and you'll know when you can serve them, then you ask them, I have this program that could potentially serve you, right? And then they're like, yeah, you can do that. Okay, you can do things that way. You can also create content that attracts clients into you, and then they're asking you to work with them, which most of my clients have been that way. Okay, most of my clients have shown up to me and said, hey, Angela, I really want to work with you. How can I work with you? And that's just what's happened. You can do things like that. You want to get really good at your marketing and your content. You want to get very comfortable with being vulnerable, very comfortable with sharing your story, and very comfortable with showing up consistently as all of you every single day, willing to make mistakes in front of people, willing to do things that are out of your norm and out of your comfort zone. You want to do things like that, okay? So you can do that. You can go in and friend request people from your groups, and now they're seeing your personal page where you're posting your content. You can also make sure that you can go into groups where you can promote your business, where you can promote your offers, and you can gain clients that way. You can gain clients from networking in the groups, if you will, and making those connections. In fact, a few of the ladies that are in here are from other groups that I've made a connection with and invited them into my group and things like that based on conversations. And then they became clients or customers, if you will. So it's easy to, it's not, I don't want to say it's easy. It's simple. Okay. It's simple. The other thing that you can do is you can offer people free resources like this live. Okay. You can offer people, a freebie, whether it's a meditation. Usually my meditations are very popular, so I like to give them away. And they bring in clients because usually it just reciprocates that way. So you offer something for free, and then you can ask them and pitch to them, just like I will at the end of this video, or just like I will if you're part of my email list. I will release the replays, and then in a few days I will be like, this is the offer that I'm giving, that I'm currently have. Please join my offer, etc., etc., etc. So how do you do this? You do this with an email list. You want to collect email addresses because you can email those people, right? If social media shuts down, whether it's Facebook or TikTok, if social media shuts down, what are you going to do then? Because you want to make sure that you have a backup to social media. You do not want social media to be your end all be all of all your marketing and how you connect with your audience. So you want to make sure that you find a way to collect email addresses. Even if you don't currently have a freebie or anything like that, or you don't know how to set any of that up, you can still ask for someone's email address and just give them a 30-minute consultation for free. And then that's it. And then you have their email address, and then you can pitch to them later and market to them later if you want. But usually when you give people, or when you give things to people for free that they feel like have value, then they want to work with you. They want to invest with you. You don't have to spend a ton of money on doing email marketing at all. I know that MailChimp has an offer, has a plan that you can use for free. I even think ConvertKit has an offer that you can use for free. There are so many of them that you can use that the options are endless. However, do not get caught up in that. Please, please, please don't get caught up in that, because I felt like I had to get caught up in that and have the fanciest email ever. And then because I was so caught up in the details of the email and how it looked, and who was getting it, but how it looked and whether or not I was with a right provider or whatever, I never was consistent on sending my emails until now. So don't get caught up in that. Pick one that you can use that's free for right now and that you can get going. Okay. But even if you're not ready for that, just if you do a 30-minute consultation, just ask for their email addresses. Even like in your case, Heather, when you have your notary business, I don't know if you're allowed to like email those people that you notarize per se, but you can get email addresses from lenders, from brokers, from real estate agents. I don't know exactly how all that works out there, but you can get those email addresses from them, and you can say like, I have this great offer right now that I'm available on this day, and I charge this much, and I'm willing to drive to whoever's house. If you need me, please let me know. And then you can just do something like that, right? That's how you create customers. That's how you create soulmate clients. You want to be aware of what it is that you're sharing and how you're sharing it. And of course, I dive deep into that, into the program that I'm creating currently, so that you feel comfortable with putting yourself out there, because you know that by putting yourself out there, you're attracting the right people. That's why you go into the Facebook groups and become friends with those specific people. That's why you answer questions in the Facebook groups and build those connections so that they can come into your energy and come into your profile. And then that's why you do the email list, so that you can stay in contact with them and connect with them. And then of course, pitch to them, to sell to them. That's essentially what it is. Okay. It is simple. Okay. But it doesn't mean that it's easy. I want to make that very clear, because sometimes we get so caught up and we've got to find our first client right now. If you focus on connection and serving, your clients come. Connection and serving, that is where it's at. You want to stay focused on connecting and serving. Okay. Because the truth is that most of us I would do this if I didn't get paid for it. Okay. However, that's just not sustainable, right? I have a child I've got to feed, that's just not sustainable. But I would do it for free. So what I want you to do is I want you to focus on connecting and serving. Connecting and serving. When you focus on connecting and serving, you know what you're also doing. You're focused on showing up and selling, because selling is also serving. Okay. Selling is serving. Selling is not a bad thing. We just make it a bad thing because we've all been conditioned to believe that everybody's an used cars salesman, and not everybody is like that. Okay. For me, if you say no, you say no. We're moving on, and that's fine. Maybe this next product or this next program or this next service will be it. And if it's not, it's not. And I appreciate your support, and I love to serve you regardless, right? So you want to focus on those things, because it's easier to focus on connecting and serving rather than it is focusing on your very first client, and it has to be right now. Because when you put that kind of pressure on yourself, it's not going to happen. You're not going to move forward, and you're going to be beating yourself up for every single time you don't get a client that day. And I know, because I've been there. Okay. I have been there. Do we have any questions? And that's just enough for you to get started right here in this moment. Or if you feel like you're stuck or you're struggling, right? I want to give you those things and give you those pieces, but I also don't want to give it all away, because I want to be able to better serve you in this 10-day intensive, where we can fully go in and dive deep into this, so that you can ask your questions, so that I can tell you there are specific ways to attract your clients into your energy and into your group, or into your email address, your email provider, whatever, your email list. That's technical word. Okay, so let me know that you've got this, you're rolling with it, you're resonating. Let me know if you have any questions, and I'll give that a second first before I go into what I'm going to talk about. I actually don't even have the thing up. My headband is driving me crazy. I'm about to take it off. Okay, so it looks like we're okay. We don't seem to have any questions. But what I'm going to talk about now is I'm going to talk about how you can dive deep into creating content that attracts your clients, and also building this email address that I'm talking about, or this email list that I'm talking about, so that you're attracting people into your energy, so that you know how to market, and so that you know how to create the right content for your target audience or for your soulmate clients. And that is going to be with my 10-day burn all your blocks to the ground. And I wrote everything out so that I can better explain this to you. Okay, this is what you're going to get. You're going to gain clarity on your messaging to attract soulmate clients. You're going to nail content and marketing so you know how to show up in big ways that fit for you. Okay, sometimes the way people show up is not for you. It's not for your personality. It's not for your comfort level and where you're at. So what we're going to do is we're going to dive deep in creating content and marketing that is specific for the way that you currently want to show up and what you feel is good and what's for your personality, right? Because if you're an introvert, you're not going to show up the same way as you would an extrovert. And even though that's about energy or whatever, there is some things that go along with it, because introverts are more reserved, where extroverts really do put themselves out there in a lot. Like, they don't hesitate. Where introverts, it's a learned process, okay? I am an introvert, okay? I spend a lot of time alone to re-energize. But I do understand that there are some dynamics with that somebody is going to market differently from the other, right? Introvert is going to market differently than the extrovert. We're also going to create an offer that sells so that you can start making clients and, of course, making money right now. And you're going to understand and feel good about the connections that you're making. I don't want you to ever feel like the connections that you're making are icky and don't feel good at all. I want them to feel good for you. And what's going to be really amazing about this program is that you're going to have one day for learning and then one day for implementing, so that if any of the inner work is necessary, then we can do the inner work. Does that make sense? Because sometimes when we go to practice and do these things, we don't realize that we actually need more inner work, or that we have blocks, or that we have some type of conditioning going on until we go out there and do the practice and practice and put ourselves out there. And then we start to realize that we might have some conditioning, or we can put our healing skills to the test and use them and navigate them. And so not only do you get the strategy with this, but you also get the inner work and the healing that goes along with this, so that it creates the ultimate freedom and in your business and in your life, so you feel confident and comfortable showing up. And so you ditch all of the struggling and the stuckness, so that you know exactly what you are doing, what direction you're headed, and how to do the damn thing, right? How to get your business off the ground. So this is for you if you feel like you've already done some healing, if you feel stuck, and if you're like just in the beginning or getting started of your business. And you'll learn the strategy and the flow, and you'll learn how to lead from your heart and thrive. And right now we have a pre-sale and a beta test. So a beta test because I have never actually run a 10-day intensive before. And that's the only reason why I wanted to beta test it. I wanted to see how it would run, how it would flow. So when you're part of the program, you are also helping me learn. So not only are you serving me and supporting me by being part of my program because you invested, but you're also helping me learn. So it's kind of like a group project, if you will. But also pre-sale price because I don't have a sales page ready. I don't have the course ready or anything like that. So none of that is ready. So it is on a pre-sale / beta price for $222. It will go up, I think, on Monday. And not only will you get the 10-day intensive, but you get my mindset course, of course, the 10-day intensive that has hours and hours of coaching. You get a Facebook community that is specifically for the 10-day intensive. You get the Healing Money Stories course that is not available to the public at all. It's brand spanking new, and only you will have access to it. And then you will get to keep the modules and the course forever, because it will be uploaded into a course so that you can have it forever. So that's what the program is. I invite you to invest and to do the 10-day intensive if you feel like this is a line for you, if you feel like this is what's right for you. We will start December 6th. Let me drop the link if you are very much interested in this. Okay. That's what we have. Let me know if you have any questions about the program. Let me know if you have any questions about imposter syndrome or how to gain clients. Tomorrow I'm pretty sure we go live on money. We're going to talk money. Yes. So tomorrow we're going to talk about money and oh my God, I got to take this off. Okay. It's like, it's giving me a headache. You know, when headbands start to hurt, like right here behind your head. Oh my God. But my hair will look funky without it now. So it's like, I'm committed. I've got to wear it the whole time. Okay, so tomorrow we're going to talk about, how to deal with money issues and not gaining clients and things like that. And we're also going to talk about how to make money online right now so that you don't necessarily need a program or a service. You can do it all right now. So that's what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Same time. I'll have a babysitter tomorrow. How do you like that? Okay.
Mommy, are we going to Wales?
I don't know, baby. I'm not done working, so you have to let me be done working, okay? Oh, I know. It's such a tragedy. Okay, do you have any questions on anything that I've gone over? Please let me know. I'll give that a couple of seconds. Okay, if there aren't any questions, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'm going to see you on day 3 of the training series. I hope that you enjoy your day. If you are watching the replay, please let me know that you're watching the replay. Please leave questions. I will get back to them. No questions. The imposter part and the embodiment part was super helpful today. Good. I'm glad that was helpful. I'm glad to hear that. All right. I will see you later, and I hope that you all have a good day. Ask your questions. Let me know that you're watching the replay. And if you feel aligned, get involved with the 10-day intensive. It's going to be so good. Yeah, you can say bye. Baby, say bye right here. Bye.
Bye.
All right. See you later.